The Cañadòn Asfalto Formation is composed of fluvial lacustrine deposits, typically sandstones and shales, with a saline paleolate carbonate evaporitic sequence of limestone. According to a palynological study, the dominant pollen was produced by the conifer families Chirolepidaceae and Araucariaceae, suggesting that warm temperate and relatively humid conditions under highly seasonal climate prevailed during the depositional times of the unit. The abundance of Batriococcus supports the presence of a shallow lake with probably saline conditions. Most of the specimens of Notobatrachus digestoi are post-metamorphic individuals, snout vent length between 9 and 15 centimeters. Though only known from a few fragmentary fossils, Allkaruen has already proven itself to be a very interesting pterosaur genus. Allkaruen is regarded as being intermediate in form between the more primitive rhamphorhynchid pterosaurs and the more advanced pterodactyloid pterosaurs. Fossils attributed to Manidens from Argentina indicate that this dinosaur may have been at least partially arboreal. The long toe bones indicate that the toe bones were capable of grasping. Distinct anchor attachments for the muscles and tendons of the hallux indicate that its hallux was smaller than the rest of the toes, but could still have grasped. Leonerasaurus taquatrensis is known from one incomplete individual. It was a small non-sauropod sauropodomorph, showing an unusual combination of basal and derived characters. This indicates that the evolution of early sauropodomorphs witnessed a great degree of convergent evolution. The size of Bagualia was likely brought on by a newly formed ecosystem and climate shifts, which were all caused by volcanic activity in the southern hemisphere during the early Jurassic. While the harsh climate and ashes drove most sauropodomorphs to extinction, Bagualia was able to adapt to newly sprouted conifers and plants, using its long neck to snip plant matter from them while staying in place, conserving energy. The size of a fully grown Volkheimeria is not known, as it is only known from an immature specimen. Patagosaurus is a sauropod that possessed a general and unspecialized biplan of being quadrupedal, having an elongate neck, a small head, and a very long tail. Therefore, it is similar to Cetiosaurus and other related genera, who possess the same morphology. As an allosauroid dinosaur, Asfaltovenator would have had a passing resemblance to the famous Allosaurus, though it is important to note that it was more primitive in its development. It was probably a huge predator in this ecosystem. As a predator, Piatnitzkysaurus probably hunted other small dinosaurs and possibly even those slightly larger than itself. It is also almost a certainty that it too scavenged the carcasses of dead dinosaurs when able, since scavenging is a frequent and often observed feeding strategy in most predatory animals that are capable of killing their own prey. Condorraptor was also a mid-sized theropod that probably hunts prey in pack. Before the discovery of Eoabelisaurus, abelisaurid anatomy was only known from a handful of late Cretaceous taxa that were aberrant in their morphology, such as their unusual skull structure and reduction of their forelimbs. Eoabelisaurus shows what was previously an unknown stage in the evolution of abelisaurids. Like most Eutriconodonts, Argentoconodon was most likely animalivorous, its molars adapted to shear. In a steady detailing Mesozoic mammal diets, it ranks among carnivorous species. Several postcranial similarities to Volaticotherium suggest that Argentoconodon was capable of gliding. The Vaca Muerta is predominantly marl and consists of mature black shales, marls, and lime mudstones. Formed in a marine environment with little clay and brittle rock, the deposit is 30 to 1,200 meters thick, extending throughout the basin. At the time of deposition, the Vaca Muerta was situated on the eastern margin of the Pacific Ocean. Caypullisaurus was first named by Marta Fernandez in 1997, and the type species is Caypullisaurus bonapartii. It was a medium ichthyosaur, but some specimen could measure around 7 meters long. Ophthalmosaurus possessed small teeth with robust tooth crowns, and signs of slight were differing notably from the robust teeth of later species of Platypterygus, interpreted to be a soft prey specialist. It could likely dive for around 20 minutes and could reach depths of 600 meters or more during a dive, reaching the mesopelagic zone. However, the species found in this formation could have lived in shallow waters. Pliosaurus was a huge predator. It would have made it a feared predator of any fish and other marine reptiles which dared to cross its path. It gave its name to the whole taxon, so it shouldn't be too surprising that its features are what paleontologists look for in a member of this family, which is a large head with heavy jaws, a pretty chunky trunk, and a short neck. Geosaurus has been hypothesized that niche partitioning enabled several species of crocodiliforms to coexist, like Tyrannosaurus. All currently known species would have been 3 meters or less in length. When compared to living crocodilians, Cricosaurus can be considered moderate to small-sized. Its body was streamlined for greater hydrodynamic efficiency, which along with its fin tail made it a more efficient swimmer than modern crocodilian species. Dacosaurus was the only marine crocodiliform to have evolved teeth that are both lateromedially compressed and serrated. Not only that, but they were much larger than those of Metriorhynchid genera. Dacosaurus and Geosaurus would have been big predators of this formation, both of which were large, short-snout species with serrated teeth. Herpetosaurus has generated a special interest because it was possibly one of the earliest pterodactyloids known. However, it was later determined it had been found in the Vaca Muerta formation from the Upper Jurassic.